It's not that New Year's resolutions just don't work. It's that New Year's resolutions need to be framed in the right way to have a higher degree of us being successful and executing on reaching our desired outcome. Most people don't achieve their New Year's resolution. There are 3 reasons that this happens. The first is that you've resolved to the wrong thing. You've resolved to an outcome rather than to a process. You need to resolve yourself to a process that will produce the outcome that you most desire, rather than resolving to an outcome that you do not have any processes in place to see that they make sense or are going to be accomplished. So you write down things like lose 30 pounds, read 50 books, read the Bible all the way through. You don't put any systems or processes in place to see that the outcome gets done. And so what you need to do instead of resolving for outcomes is you need to begin resolving for processes. You write a resolution and you begin listing out the processes that you're resolving to in order to get to the desired outcome. If you're going to resolve to lose 30 pounds, then instead of saying, I resolve to lose 30 pounds, you're saying, I resolve to do these things that will result in that outcome. I resolve to go to the gym 5 days a week. I resolve to audit my pantry and my refrigerator, audit my credit card statement on a monthly basis to find out just how much is going out. The second reason that most resolutions fail is because they're not achievable given your current position. Most people want to accomplish a goal without changing their position. In reality, most goals are actually quite attainable, but we have to position ourselves in such a way to be able to attain the thing that we really want. And the reason that your goal is a goal is because you haven't achieved it yet. And the reason you haven't achieved it yet is because you haven't positioned yourself in a way to make that achievable. If you've already positioned yourself in a way to make it achievable, you would have already achieved it. How do you set yourself up for success? Well, a few things are involved. One is personal accountability. You have to have some way of assessing on a daily check-in basis that you are making progress toward your goal. Make a spreadsheet. You are listing out the daily activities that you are going to need to do on a consistent basis in order to be able to reach the bottom line goal. So it may be do 50 push-ups a day. Did you do it or did you not do it? How many did you do that day? So like what I did this year was I took an Excel spreadsheet. I put on the top left, January 1st, 2024. You click the bottom right corner and you drag it down and it's going to go January 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, all the way down to December 31st, let it go, all those dates populate, and then you begin making columns. Today's weight, how many miles did I run that day? How many repetitions of some sort of weight exercise did I do that day? When you make that spreadsheet, when you put in the dates and you put in the daily weight, you're going to put in a column with your daily goals for each of those things. You can actually color code in Excel based on how close you are to that goal, based on percentages. It will actually color in your activity squares based on what you set as the goal for that square. And I'll put some info in the description on how to do that, because it's super helpful visually to look at the colors and see, do you have more green colors or more red colors? And ultimately, if I can be consistent in this, when I get to the end of the year, I'm going to see measurable, achievable outcomes that came through personal accountability. It also helps to have external accountability, where you have somebody who's checking in with you. That spreadsheet is not just on your computer. You put that on a Google Drive, and then you have a friend who commits to a weekly check-in via text or a phone call that's going to pull up that Google sheet, is going to look at your progress, see where your goals are, and then see if you're meeting your goals. You have to set up structures and processes in order to get you where you want to be. If those things already existed, you would already be where you want to be. This is talking about change. We do not like change. We like to stay the same, but why set goals if you want to stay the same? You set the goal because you don't want to stay the same. But now you're going to have the will to set yourself up for success, and that is the actual change process. The change process is not the goal itself. The change process is all the things that it's going to take for you to do on a regular, consistent basis in order to get where you want to be. The third reason that people don't meet their goals is cheating. The first is vague resolutions, non-specific things. Things like get in shape. Okay, how are you going to do that? What does that look like? How many repetitions is it going to take? What are you going to eat or not eat to get there? The lack of specificity allows you to cheat because it's number 2, subjective. Subjective goals allow you to cheat. We don't know what it looks like to be more loving or more kind or to get in shape or to be fit. That's subjective. It's not concrete. And the third way that people sabotage themselves is through impossible goals. Like, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to get down to 4% body fat. It's like make an impossible goal that whenever you fail at meeting that goal, you don't feel bad because you're like, oh, that was impossible anyway. I knew I could never get there, so now I don't have to feel bad for the fact that I didn't put in the work for something that couldn't have been accomplished anyway. Now you're not so upset when you fail. So what do you do next with all this? You have to set up a way to have this in front of you every single day. Something you check every single day. It can be the scale, it can be an Excel spreadsheet in Google Docs. You need two-level accountability. That personal accountability, you're checking it every day. That weekly external accountability, where a friend is checking it and you're doing a weekly text or phone check-in. And I suggest that those check-ins be really, really short. If you turn into hour conversations, you're going to stop doing them. Third thing is begin setting up the structures and processes that are going to be necessary for you to achieve your desired goal. And then begin executing into that spreadsheet the measurable things that you're going to do that have been specified through the measurable goals of whether you're doing them daily or not doing them. It's going to be very clear if you're doing it or not. The third thing is work through the resolutions you've already adopted or begin writing new ones where you're looking for ways to destroy the sabotaging systems that we put to keep us from reaching our goals. And here's what I mean by that. Goals that are vague are not reached. Make them specific. Goals that are impossible cannot be reached. Make possible goals. Goals that are subjective, you can cheat yourself all day and say, I met it, but you need to make them objective. Put numbers to it. Numbers of repetitions, numbers of miles, numbers of calories, numbers of minutes prayed, numbers of hours in the Bible, whatever it takes. Write it down specifically. You either did it or you didn't. Put those specific numbers into the spreadsheet. You can't just put subjective things into the spreadsheet and spreadsheet work. So convert your goals into these three areas. Possible, objective, clear / specific. And the reality is, many of your goals are impossible given your current position, given your current system, given your current processes. The processes that you have currently adopted are working perfectly to produce the outcome that they produce, which is where you're at, which is not where your goal is at. So if you're going to bridge that gap, you're going to need to make some serious adjustments. It's going to be daily discipline, but you're going to get there. Let's all grow together. Share in the comments what your goals are for 2024. And not only that, but share the specific things you're going to do to see it happen. And before you do anything else, check out another video. Take care.